Hello everyone and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. In today's tutorial, I will be using my Cricut Explore Air 2 and I will be demonstrating several easy craft ideas that you can use with your Cricut Explore Air 2 just in time for fall. If you find it helpful, please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's get started. For this first project, I'm using my Cricut Explore Air 2, this mug that I purchased from Dollar Tree, Starcraft permanent adhesive vinyl. I'll use a Cricut scraper, pen weeding tool, transfer tape. The color of this vinyl is called matte orange, okay, according to the color swatch here. This is Starcraft. All right, so now we're gonna go into Cricut Design Space and we'll get this cut out. This first file can be found on the Design Bundles website. It can also be found on the Creative Fabrica website. I just decided to download the one from Design Bundles. I will make sure it is linked below the video. Once I downloaded the file, I extracted it and then I uploaded it into Cricut Design Space. Once I got to Cricut Design Space, I chose the option for blank canvas and I uploaded the file. And then you can look in the layers panel and see that this file is actually layered. And I didn't want to use it like that, so I'm going to show you how I decided to use it. I grabbed a square from the shapes panel and then I unlocked the proportions. I changed the width to 11.4 and I think I changed the height to right at 2 inches. And what I wanted to do was just make sure the file would fit inside the rectangle. I changed the operation type from a basic cut to pen just so I can see it and make sure the sizing was exactly where I wanted it to be, because I wanted the image to be on both sides of the mug. And honestly, I don't know what I was thinking, because this was not fun to weed at all, but you will see that once I get back to the camera. What I'm doing right here is making sure the alignment is good on the top and bottom. Once I had it aligned, I duplicated the image and then made sure both were aligned, and I attached them. And I decided, well, I thought that it would help me if I actually had an outline around the image, so it would help me line it up on the mug. You'll see that didn't work out the way I thought it would, but that's okay. So in order to get the outline though, what I did was I changed that rectangle back to a basic cut and I added an offset and I sliced the first result out of the offset. So you'll see right here, I'm going to go to change that rectangle to a basic cut. And then I'm going to add an offset to that. The offset I added was 0.13. And once I had the offset, I just selected the first rectangle and the offset and I clicked slice, and that gave me basically the border around the file. And then I resized it to make sure it would fit properly around the mug. So now once I have that ready, it's time to go and take everything over to the mat. I think it's a good idea, if you are going to use this file, that you go ahead and weld it, especially with the words fall vibes. You'll see the S gave me a lot of drama, and I just giving you all the information that I wish I would have had before I started this project. All right, let's go and get this prepared and placed on the mat. Can't see it right here, but I was still actually connected to my Cricut Maker. I needed to go back in and connect to my Cricut Explore Air 2. I am going to do that. And then I suggest, if you're going to do this, make 2 copies instead of 1. I'm using the premium vinyl setting. And now let's go back to the camera. As you can see, I have the vinyl on the matte face up. I keep my dial set to custom when I'm using my Cricut Explore Air 2. I am going to go ahead and speed this part up, but I did make sure to cut two of these files just in case I messed up one. I would have another one and I wouldn't have to go back into Cricut Design Space. So you can see that both of them are cut. What I'm going to do is cut away one of the files and then I'll start to work with it, and I'm going to do my very best to get this weeded. I definitely struggled, and I can't even imagine what the struggle would have been like if I was using a different brand of vinyl. So I'm going to just remove that outer piece first, and then I'm going to do what's called reverse weeding because these pieces are so intricate. Okay, so I have the transfer tape on the backing, and I didn't even cut the transfer tape big enough, so I had to cut another piece to add to the top. I'm going to burnish on the back of um, the file or the design, and I'm just making sure that all of the vinyl is going to stick to the transfer tape. I'm going to peel it away carefully and make sure there's nothing left on the backing. You can see the design right there. And what I'm going to do here is rethink my whole life. No, just kidding. I am rethinking my life, but I'm also going to be very careful and try to get this weeded. I don't know what I was thinking. So if you're going to do this, make the design bigger and just be better than me, okay? Because this was a debacle, but I managed to get done what I could. So I managed to finish, once I started peeling, it was peeling pretty good. I was feeling great about this. And I was celebrating every little small win in my head and out loud. So I continued to peel as much as I could. I'm thankful for this vinyl because it was helpful to have vinyl that I could work with like this. But once I got to the other side, it just started to be a little bit more tricky. But I got it done, and you'll see by the end, I don't even end up with that border around it. I wanted to, but it didn't work out. Here I am with the mug turned upside down. I'm going to turn the vinyl upside down. And I think that I thought I could line this up because of the two grooves on the mug, but it just didn't work out like that. I thought I could line it up like just right there, and I don't know if the grooves were crooked or I was crooked. I don't know. I couldn't do it. I tried starting in the middle, and it didn't work out for me. But if you are able to do it, please post a picture in my Facebook group so I can feel good that somebody was able to do it. I just wasn't able to do it. This is where I got to the point I realized that it it wasn't gonna work. So I just started peeling it off, and I was just like, whatever. I'm just gonna make sure the main part of the design is on the mug, and everything else is just gonna have to be okay. The S gave me drama. That V gave me drama. I think I gave myself the drama in all actuality though, because why did I choose a design that was so small? So this is me just trying to fix it up. I do think it's a cute design. I think I could have made it a little bit bigger. But this is not dishwasher safe. And I always like to say, if it's is handmade, then it's hand washed. So if you make it by hand, if it's something like that, then you wash it. Don't try to put it in the dishwasher. This is something that I would have to wash by hand, but I would definitely give the vinyl time to set in, and I don't recommend covering it with Mod Podge or anything like that, because it'll smear it and it won't look nice. For this next project, I am going to make 2 pillows. I'll use my Cricut Explore Air 2. I will be using Cricut infusible ink, 2 pillow covers, and Caesar glitter HTV in the color bronze. I'll use my HTVRONT auto heat press 2 to heat them. And these pillows, I purchased these from Walmart. They come in a 2-pack, and these are 16 by 16. Let's get started. This is the file that I'm going to use on the sequin pillow cover. And what I'm going to do is look at the layers panel. I can see that the layers are grouped. And because I'm using 3 different colors of infusible ink, I will change the colors so they cut separately. And I also want to make sure with this file that I don't make it bigger than 11.5 because I don't want to be prompted to use a large mat. So I'm going to change each of the layers, the color layers, then get them attached, and I will make sure that the file is not bigger than 11.5, and I will get these placed on the mat exactly where I want them, and then I'll get this cut out. Now with infusible ink, even though I'm going to have to mirror the design, it's still cut face up. Okay, so let's look at the materials for this pillow specifically. There's the sequin pillow cover, the Cricut Explore Air 2, and then I have the infusible ink on the mat the way that I'm planning to use it. So I'm using the darkest green from this box of infusible ink. I'll make sure it's listed below the video. I'm using the tangerine color, and I'm also using the darkest brown from this animal print box of infusible ink. I have 2 colors on one mat and 1 color on the mat by itself. Let's go ahead and get this cut out, and then we'll get it pressed. The heat press will be heated up to 400 degrees while this is cutting. So with this sequin pillow cover, I always just like to remind everyone that you want to first make sure all of the sequins are going in the same direction, in that if any of them need to be flipped over, that you just go ahead and flip them over. Make sure that none of the silver part of the sequins is showing, that the only thing you see is white. Once I have all of them flipped over, the next thing I'm going to do is go over the pillow cover with my lint roller, and then I will do a quick pre-press. What I'm doing right here is weeding the infusible ink. It's weeded with your fingers, unlike regular vinyl. And once I have it all weeded, all the layers, I will cut the excess of the backing away and get very close to the design so that I can line it up the way that it's supposed to be lined up, and I can get ready to press it. So you can see my pillow cover is still sitting there under the heat press. Once I have all 3 layers, I will tape them down securely with heat resistant tape, and then I'll press this on 400 degrees for 60 seconds. You know, this is always my favorite part of any tutorial. So let's take a look and see how this pillow turned out. I can go ahead and tell you it's gorgeous. Look at how beautiful this is. Oh my goodness. If you have not tried infusible ink, you are certainly missing out. And I am not even kidding. It is so gorgeous. Look at how pretty this is. Oh my goodness. I love it so much. For this next pillow, I used all bronze Caesar glitter vinyl, and the design is very similar to the one that's on the mug. It's just bigger and it has a lot of little images. I really don't know what I was thinking with all of this weeding, but I got it done. You'll see it's not going to be perfect, but you have to look hard to see it. So what I'm doing right here is just placing the glitter HTV on the mat with the pretty side face down. Now it's time for the fun part. I am going to weed this on my heat press just to kind of help soften the vinyl. I did get a good cut with the Cricut Explore Air 2, and I am going to do my very best to weed this. I don't know if this is one of these like new minimalist designs where it's just really focused on the outlines and not so much on the inside, but I wasn't able to get the socks right, but for the most part I did okay. I am going to just use a regular, see, look at the socks right there at the top. I didn't do a good job, but it's okay. I am going to pre-press the pillow cover. It's just a regular white cotton pillow cover. I'm going to do a quick pre-press. The heat press is set to 325 degrees for 20 seconds. I'm going to press the design on the pillow cover and then show you what it looks like, and we'll move on to the next project. This is always my favorite part. I'm going to go ahead and remove the backing. You can see that Caesar Glitter HTV is a hot or cold peel. I just peel it immediately. Now let's take a look at our two pillows. They look gorgeous. The one with the fusible ink and the one with Caesar Glitter HTV. Let's move on to the next project. For this next project, I'm still going to be using my heat press. I am going to be pressing some vinyl on this wood. I found these wood panels at Walmart for $2.87, and I just thought they would be perfect to try it out. I'm going to use Caesar Brick 600 for this one, and we'll see how it goes. I have pressed vinyl on wood. I have not tried brick on wood, and so I'm going to try that. I also have some ribbon that I purchased from Dollar Tree. I will grab that and see how I can add it to this wood panel. I have the Caesar Brick 600 on the matte face down. You'll be able to see that this is actually orange Brick 600. So I'm going to cut away the excess vinyl and start to weed this. It did weed really nicely. I was pleasantly surprised, or I wouldn't even say I was surprised. I feel like it cut well. I did use the glitter iron-on setting in Cricut Design Space. Once I finish weeding this, then I pre-press the wood 310 degrees Fahrenheit for about 5 seconds. So what I'm doing right here is pre-pressing the wood. Don't forget to pre-press the wood. I'm adding the vinyl to the wood, and I'm going to press it in 15-second increments. 315 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. Let it cool down. Try to peel it. If it starts to come up, press it again. So right now I'm doing 315, 15 seconds. I'm going to try to peel it. If it comes up, I'm pressing it again. I ended up pressing this 3 times before it really fully stuck. And then I decided I wanted to add the ribbon, and I wasn't sure about where to put the ribbon because I don't use a lot of ribbon. So I'm going to do my best, but please leave me a comment below and let me know where I should have put the ribbon, because I didn't know if I needed to add it to the wood and then kind of cover up the words, or add it to the twine and just kind of let it hang with the twine. But leave me a comment below and let me know where I should have put it. You'll see where I put it once I saw finished. The next item on the list is a Dollar Tree chopping board. It's the glass one, the round one, and I use some of the Starcraft orange adhesive vinyl along with my Cricut Explore Air 2 and a green standard grip mat. The design I used was found on the Creative Fabrica website. I went into Cricut Design Space and resized it to fit nicely on the back of the glass chopping board. I went back into Cricut Design Space and I uploaded the file that I intended to use. I resized the file to fit nicely on the back of the glass. And what I did was I just got a circle and I resized it to 7 inches and made sure that the design would fit in there. I welded the full image and then I clicked make. And even though I'm using permanent adhesive vinyl, I still mirrored the design because I'm putting it on the back of the glass. I'll show you that back on the camera. Remember, I did cut it mirrored, and with adhesive vinyl, you cut it with the vinyl face up. The pretty side is what you see. And so now I'm going to quickly weed this, and then I'll transfer it to the back of the glass. I will probably have to remove the rubber pieces that are on the bottom because I think they're in the way of the design, and that's no problem. I can remove them and then just stick them back on. So I did end up having to remove those little pieces from the back, and it was fine. They were easy enough to remove and put back. They were still sticky. What I did next after I removed them was just transferred the image with my transfer tape, and I centered it as well as I could, and I started really just kind of making sure it was smoothed out with my hands, and then I got my Cricut scraper and burnished really good, and then fully transferred it to the back of the glass. I just cannot tell you how much I love this project. This is probably my top 2 of all the projects I made for this tutorial. I think it's gorgeous, and I think it does add some flavor to any fall decor, and I probably would do this again. The last 2 projects, I actually used Caesar Glitter HTV. I used green for the pot holders and orange for the apron. And I'll just show you how I did that. The files were found on the Creative Fabrica website. And I felt like these were easy enough for any Cricut beginner or anyone who still loves to use heat transfer vinyl. What I'm doing here is weeding the green vinyl. The file just says thankful and blessed. I thought it was so pretty. It is linked below the video. And right here I have the pot holders. I'm going to remove all of the stickers or the labels and the plastic pieces, and I'm going to pre-press them for about 5 seconds. After pre-pressing, I'll get the glitter vinyl pressed and we'll move on to the apron. The good thing about these pot holders and this green glitter HTV is that they're both timeless. I'm always going to need a pot holder, and the color green doesn't really go out of style. I can use it at any time of the year, and I'm always thankful and blessed. I actually ended up pressing these twice because the first time I peeled it, I kind of felt like they were peeling up, but I love the way they turned out. I think they're really cute. Now I'm going to quickly pre-press the apron and get the glitter vinyl adhered. After that quick pre-press, I went ahead and added the vinyl to the front of the apron, got it exactly where I wanted it. I pressed it for about, I think it was 20 seconds. I always forget if it's 20 or 25. And then, of course, since it's Caesar, I can peel it immediately and it looks gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Now, do you have a favorite project from all of the ones you've seen me make today? I personally love the glass cutting board the most, but I also like the pot holders and the mug. I love all of it. I like the way these signs turned out. Still wasn't sure about where that ribbon should go. I love the way this pillow turned out, and I even love the other one, the cozy season with the glitter HTV. I had so many more projects in mind, but I just ran out of time. Please leave me a comment below and let me know which one was your favorite, and if you plan to try any of these. If you found this tutorial helpful, please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.